Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back with yet another Viking Orations. Got another review for you today, and this time I'm going to be talking about the brand new album, the debut full length from the band Schizophrenia, entitled Recollections of the Insane. Now, if you're not familiar with Schizophrenia, they are a death thrash band from Antwerp, Belgium, that have been around since 2016, featuring Romeo Promopoulos on guitars. Hopefully, I pronounced that right. I was really dreading trying to pronounce that. Ricky Mandozzi on bass and vocals, Lorenzo Visol on drums, and Marty VK handling the guitars. As I said, this is the band's debut full length album. It is 9 tracks, just a little over 42 and a half minutes in length. The band does have one previous EP entitled Voices, which, much like this album, was put out by Redefining Darkness Records back in 2020 as a reissue. And honestly, I've been a fan of this band ever since that Voices EP. So I was very anxious to see if this debut album could actually capture that same energy and intensity of that EP, and honestly, they did not disappoint me whatsoever. The album is filled with just nice, thrashy riffs, some getting really fast at times. I was really surprised how fast they were actually playing these riffs, as well as some, very tasty solos throughout. And I love the overall tone of the guitars that they captured here. Track number 5, Onward to Fire, I just absolutely love that opening riff to that song. That's probably one of my favorite riffs on this entire album. I love the bass tone they captured here as well. It has a kind of heavy Dee Verny sound to it. It's right up in the mix, though not too up front as to kind of overshadow the rest of the instruments, but very easily heard, laying down a solid backbone for all of these songs. The drums have a really great production with a nice snap to the snare. I love the kick drum sound on here. Honestly, a very solid performance by Lorenzo. Lots of good patterns, rolls, and fills, as well as some really solid blast beats. And I love his double bass work, but man, the sound of those blast beats is just so badass. Yeah. And then finally, Ricky's vocals top things off. And, to me, he has a bit of a digester, aka Sean McGrath, from Ghoul vibe to his vocals. He does have a traditional style growl as well, but that's used primarily as backing vocals, as well as to kind of, sometimes accentuate a certain word or a phrase or whatever. And I love how they actually at times really layer his vocals, so you have the kind of more, basically digester-ish style vocals, but they layer with his traditional style growls, and I just think it sounds really badass. Now, when you get to track number 3, Sea of Sorrow, at about the 254 mark, and again at around 429, they use this really cool vocal effect that kind of gives him this almost evil, sentient being kind of sound to his voice, and I think it sounded really awesome. Some of the other things that I picked up while I was listening to this, track number 2, Cranial Disintegration, which is a badass title. I love the use of the keyboards and the synths that kind of briefly appear at times, which they also appear a little bit in track number 3 as well. And honestly, they had a bit of a Dan Sueno's Moon Tower feel to them. I just really loved how they sounded. They weren't overly used. They were kind of maybe set an atmosphere for that particular moment, just kind of accentuate what was going on at the moments that they were used. Then finally, track number 8, Fall of the Damned. I loved the opening to this song, as it has that, something bad is gonna happen, build up to it, and it has this, really brooding feel with what I think sounds like church bells playing, and then you get those kind of monk choir-esque vocals that are very light but really well done. It's kind of like that style vocal. That's what I call the monk choir style vocals. And then finally it kicks into gear at the 49-second mark with a really nice heavy thrashy riff. Overall great opening to the song. And yeah, overall I think this is just an absolute banger of a debut album. Is filled with fast riffs, solid drumming, great bass work, and just some nasty sounding vocals, and it makes you just want to bang your head throughout the whole thing and then throw it on again and again. Really solid album. Like I said, they did not disappoint me. with this album at all, because like I said, I loved their EP, so I was really anxious to see how this was going to turn out, and they turned in just absolute fire, in my opinion. This gets a solid 9 out of 10 from me. Go check out Schizophrenia. I will leave a link down below, so you can check it out for yourself. It is out now through Redefining Darkness Records. However, the last I checked, the CDs are delayed by a couple of weeks, so yeah. Still, yeah, go ahead and secure a copy, because I'm sure, if you order through the Bandcamp, you'll be getting a digital copy, and you can jam that until you get the physical. But yeah, that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and until next time, stay brutal.